Y'all, what's going on, man? Time to talk about Georgia versus Georgia Tech, man. It should be a good one. Alright, man. So when I look at this matchup and what can go on here, man. So Georgia Tech, right? Let's start with them. What is the health of Haynes King, right? He's still dealing with that shoulder joint sprain. Can he really throw the football? Or will it be another two quarterback system? What's going to happen with Aaron Philo, who was one of the highest graded, or was the highest graded guy this past week, according to PFF, as far as quarterbacks goes? So an incredible win for them. Last Thursday, obviously against NC State. But now my question is, will he play? And how will his red shirt look? If they count this year, then next year will probably be a red shirt for him, depending on what happens with Haynes King, right? Does he come back another year? Does he hit the draft? How does that work? We're going to find out. You know what I'm saying? But that's the kind of key going into this one. Who's going to be quarterback? Well, it'll be a two-quarterback system. Next thing is Jamal Haynes, right? Whenever he runs the ball well, or whenever this team is running the ball well, they're impossible to beat. Now, why I say that is because Georgia just gave up 226 yards, their highest since 2018 against LSU, right? Now, that defense is elite. They're like top 20 in nearly almost every category. Third down conversion percentage, red zone, forcing turnover. Like they're high in on every category. So say what you want. This team's been carrying really Georgia Tech most of the year. Georgia most of the year. Right. So he was obviously talking about the running game and how really elite this defense is for Georgia. So that's what it's going to come down to, right? And he's having a pretty good year, right? One game left, and he'll have a bowl game, 717 yards rushing this year, 9 touchdowns. And then just the passing game, can they have the explosive plays? That's another key in this game for Georgia Tech. Eric Singleton Jr. is having another pretty good year. Probably not as dominant as last year, but him and Malik Rutherford, when they're healthy and they're playing, the big plays are there. Avery Boyd's also been a nice addition to this team as well this year. Jackson Hall is one of the highest graded pass blocking and run blocking tight ends in the country. For what he's been doing from Yale. So they just have good complementary pieces and they play together. So that's the key. If they're going to upset Georgia, they're going to have to be able to throw the ball down the field, get explosive plays, and if they can run it against a stout, really good, elite Georgia defense, they definitely have a chance. Like I said, most games they won this year, they've ran it well, and defense hasn't had any chances of stopping them. So that is going to be the key for Tech in this one. And like I said, the health of this man, who's having a really good year, he's not going to be talked about because, obviously he's been, hurt. He's been dealing with injury and hasn't been, fully healthy. But when he's healthy and whole, Haynes King is one of the better quarterbacks in the ACC. You can argue with your mama. That's just the case. Now, on the other side for Georgia, Carson Beck, right? What Carson Beck are you going to get? The last 2 weeks, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions, right? Nearly, I think, 600-700 yards passing. He's been great. If he can keep that up, Georgia's going to be dangerous going forward. So that's the key there. Him hitting on explosive plays down the field, him not getting fumbles or interceptions. If he takes care of the football, Georgia's right in it, right? And you got to talk about Nate Frazier. Nate Frazier's having a phenomenal year. Last game, rushed for career highs, 126 yards, 3 touchdowns in that one. So far, 537 yards this season. So when he's at peak level as well, they're tough to beat. And Nate Frazier's had to kind of sub in a little bit with Trevor Etienne either being suspended or hurt. He's been hurt the last couple of weeks, man, and he stepped in beautifully, and he's really contributed to this passing attack. And as far as wide receiver goes for Georgia, they do it by committee, right? They do it with, obviously Arian Smith, who has 695 yards and 4 touchdowns, Dylan Bell, who's having a good season, Oscar Delp, Landon Humphreys, Lawson Lucky. That's kind of how they do it. They spread it around, and they want to run the ball and make it tough for you. So that's how it kind of looks with this Georgia team and this program. So it's not going to be easy. This is one of the top teams in the SEC, regardless of what you can say. They're number 7 in the country for a reason. They're going to be playing the SEC championship next week versus the winner of Texas and Texas A&M. So they're loaded. Really elite defense players you should watch for. Jalen Walker, who I think is one of the best linebackers in the country. When you match him up, probably him and Anthony Hill, I would give the nod as some of the top ones in the country. He's just explosive. Go watch the tape for the Texas game and what he did to that really good team. That gives you all you need to know. Mikael Williams, when he's healthy and whole, he's a game stopper. He's a game wrecker. Similar to what Jalen Carter is becoming with the Eagles. We've seen what he was doing with Georgia, right? He has those similar capabilities. It's just all about his health. How healthy can he be? How many games can he play? Go back and look at the Texas game. Look how much he affected that game. Right? And it's not always the QB sacks. It's the pressures. It's forcing them into mistakes, turnovers, and completions. All those things matter. So Mikael Williams is another dog. Malachi Starks, right? Already, I think, in the Jim Thorpe Award as one of the top defensive backs in the country. You know what I'm saying? He's been doing that since he's been a true freshman. Go back and look at that Oregon game. Kid's the real deal, plays at a different speed. He will be an elite safety in the NFL, I humbly think. And then KJ Bolden, who's playing the star position, right? Learning early. And even going into the season, Coach Kirby Smart said he's well ahead of Malachi Starks was when he first came in. That says a lot. So this is probably going to be the KJ's defense next year. He's probably going to be one of the captains when you look at it and look at the kind of, just the direction they're going. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be interesting to see nonetheless, man. But this Georgia defense is for real. So Georgia Tech's going to have to be ready. They're going to have to hit on those keys I talked about. If Philo is going to play, he's going to have to take care of the football, hit the explosive plays when they're there, and they're going to have to convert in the red zone. You got to get touchdowns, not field goals against this Georgia team. All right, y'all. So that's basically my thoughts, man. Those are the keys. It should be a good game, too. Really good team. Say what you want about Georgia Tech, but they're on the rise. You saw them flipping, obviously, Tay Harris, them flipping Elgin Sessions. All that's on my channel. Me breaking down that film for him. Obviously, they trying to flip Peyton Joseph. He's another big one for them. You know what I'm saying? They doing work, and you got to credit Coach Corey Peoples, Coach Santucci, Coach Key, Coach McKnight, Coach Jeep Wade. Like they're not messing around. You know what I'm saying? This team wants to be back to what they were. They're investing in their athletics. They got their full steam ahead initiative. They're not playing around no more. You know what I'm saying? And this is a great institution because you're not only becoming a man on the field, but also off. They set you up for success off the field. It's a great organization to be a part of and a great alumni network as well. The connections, the people you meet downtown, how you can end up, I think it's like 3 and 5, become millionaires. Like Tech is really one of the best ones. It's just they haven't been as good in football. But back-to-back consecutive winning seasons, first time since 2013, 2014, they ain't messing around. And I tell you what, Georgia better not take them for granted. You mess around and you play with the monster, it's gonna come back. It's gonna come back to bite you. You play with the dog, it's gonna come back to bite you. You know what I'm saying? So this Tech team, they are formidable. Do not sleep on them. If you're a Bulldogs fan, I know it's clean old-fashioned hate. I know you favored by 18 points. But I'm telling you what, you better take this team serious because it's not gonna be too long. They're gonna be back in the national championship conversation. Say what you want. Coach Key know what he doing. This team is always ready to play, and they always want to be more physical than you. We're going to see tonight. I'm taking Georgia, but it should be an electric atmosphere and a great game between two bitter rivals.